Hey, board gamers, BJ from Game Gumbo here, back with another unboxing. This time it's a lazy Thursday, Christmas Eve, and I want to take a look at something that might get my blood pumping a little bit this morning. It's called Cubitos from designer John D. Clare and AEG, Alderac Entertainment. Let's take a look. I've got the box, haven't seen it, know a little bit about it. I'll give you an overview of what I know as we look at the components, and let's take a look. Cubitos. I like John D. Clare's design so far. Played a ton of Space Base, especially the Shy Pluto expansion. I like Mystic Vale, although I'm not as big a fan as some of the other people in the Gumbo. Sagan's particularly. Sagan and Zach both like it a lot. Sagan and Emily. This is Cubitos, though. It's a dice building, although you don't actually mess with the dice themselves. So think of sort of like a bag, but you're dealing with just the dice without actually getting a bag. And it's a race game at the same time. So not only are you trying to compete against the other players to try to get the best dice, really engine building when you think about it, you're also going to try to win the race. I mean, it's first one across. That's who wins. All right, so let's get this out of the way. This is Cubitos, kind of a strange cover. I think Alderac's having fun with this one because they've been posting a lot about it on social media. What is that? Is he in the Alps, maybe? Everything you see in this game is all about cubes. That's what I've seen so far. So Cubitos, race of cubes that are out there, and they're going to race. So here's the big giant rulebook. Normally, I like Alderac's AEG's rulebooks, especially with John D. Clare's games. So let's take a look. We got it's 2 to 4 players. It's all about the racing. Love this. Now you see, hey, publishers, it's exactly what we want to see right at the start. You're going to get a big, beautiful, full color, just picture of every single component. So when you tell me runner figure in the rule book, I can look at this page and see right away, right? Yeah, Dave, I agree with you, man. It's like the Alps version of SpongeBob. So this is Cubitos is like Sound of Music, basically with dice. That's right, Fiona. We got a lot of games that have been coming in lately. One of the I think it was Miniature Market said that they've seen more games in the last quarter than they basically had all year. So there's a lot of publisher releases that are coming out, and this is how we help some of the publishers get the word out about some of their games. You can see all that. Yep. John D. Clare, Fiona, I saw you mentioned about top 10 designers. Jeremy Howard, who was on the show this week, and make sure you check that out. Yeah, John D. Clare is up there for me too. So far, what I played, Ecos was okay. This one looks a little bit more interesting for me. All right, beautiful setup. I love this. Setup's got the numbers corresponding to the sides, and this is just perfect. This is the way I want to see a rule book. All right, the Tour de Cube. Oh, I like that. All right, so let's get, how to play. Nice and simple with illustrations. Can't beat that. In game, I mean, right there, highlighted. You can see that. Make sure these little, like an FAQ and clarifications. Very nice. And of course, what we've seen a lot in AEG games, the big background on the back that kind of gives you an overview, the gameplay itself, how to set up, and all the descriptions. So, hey, so far, so good. I like what I see. Even got a quick little rules summary that you can pass around with other players. So let's get to the board. The boards themselves, from what I saw, yeah, I'm going to get to this box in just a second. The boards themselves are basically racetracks. See if I can get that out there. Come on, you can do it. I think they fold out, right? Yep. So you got racetracks. Look, you can get the little stands. The nothing goes right. And you've got a start and a finish. First one, I mean, this is it. It's a race game. First one to the finish line wins. It's got that downforce thing where the furthest person, if there's a tie, would win. But as you can see, they're double-sided. So now we're looking at testing the waters. And I think the game, if I remember right, comes with 4 different ones. So let's take a that. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Jeremy, you asked for people to stream. I'm giving it to you, man. Thank you again for coming on the show. What a fun time with Jeremy Howard. He brings the heat. He brings the spicy-eyed games. And we almost set a record. We looked at a lot of games Tuesday night. So check out that show. I'm going to be posting them all for the next couple of weeks. We're going to get to the cubes, Dave. It is Cubitos. Everything is cubes in here. Look, even the squares, right? This is still waters run deep. I'm trying my best to do Bradley here. I'm trying to invoke Bradley. Hey, Gumbo crew, Bradley is so much better than this. He's so much better than this than I am. Head of the curve. So each one of them are a little bit different. You'll see like some of them have ways to jump from places to the other, or maybe even get rid of your cubes. I mean, look, you might buy some cubes, which I'll tell you in a second, that you don't want later on. You want to get rid of some of these dice. Let's get to the chips and the cardboard. All right. So we got the handy dandy little sheet here, which you're going to use rolling while you're taking your turn. It's simultaneous rolling. All the players are going to roll their dice simultaneously. And then when they're finished, when they don't want to take a chance of busting anymore, they'll flip over that to this side, to the run phase. And that's signifying to the other players that they're finished and they want to be able to start doing those actions. So it's actually kind of a nice little reminder of how to do the run phase when it's that. Next up, you see the credits. Basically, there's virtual money in this game. Your dice are going to give you money, and you've got to spin it at the end of the round, just like you do in Space Base, right? But these chips, if you're not doing so well, you can earn some of these chips. It's sort of a little catch-up mechanic, and the chips themselves are going to be ways that you can spin the next round and get some money back. You also have the other component you're going to see on the dice, and that's basically oh no, this is hand size. I thought that was something there. I thought it was footprints, but those are not footprints, Dave. What are you talking about? These are hands. So that's the hand size. Everybody's going to start out with a hand size of 9 dice. This is a way to increase that. The more dice you have, the faster you can go. All right, Dave. Now the big reveal. All the dice. And Dave, here's the unique thing. Instead of being dice in a bag, right? Normally, that's what we're looking at. We're going to store all the dice in a bag. AEG gives you these dice boxes. So you're going to put together these boxes, and at the end, basically, I think that's what this is. At least I know there are dice boxes in there. Yeah, look, here's another one. That must be. Oh, you know what? There's so many more gray dice than there are others. So these are the little dice boxes for the gray, the orange, the green, and you'll fold these up. But one side is to drop the cubes in whenever you're storing them, and the other side is going to be sort of like a little platform that you can use to see the dice during the game. So it's almost making little dice trays. Yeah, we're getting to the cubes, Dave. So gray, orange, green, purple, yellow, brown, red, blue, tons of different dice. And each of the dice are different. So let's take a look at some of those. All right. Dice. For instance, let's look at the orange dice. Oh, I like the feel of these. These are sort of like those space-based dice. Yeah, nice. I like these. Yes, dice. Each one of them has different faces. You might see faces that allow you to buy stuff. You might see faces that have special actions, like the oranges. You get that, you'll trigger the special actions on the cards. And I'm going to get to the cards in just a second. Each of the dice costs different. So just like the spaceships in Space Base, each of these dice are going to cost a little different, and they'll do different things. So, for instance, can you see this one? There's a 3. That's going to give you 3 credits if you don't bust. To spin, and there's that special action for the brown dice. I'm looking. There we go. Looking for the movement. Yeah, exactly. Go Tigers, man. Purple and gold. They've got all the colors. Don't worry, they have vermilion. I saw the vermilion. I'm getting to those in just a second. All right, so here's the green dice. Special actions again. But also, how about these? The feet. However many feet faces show up, that's how far you're going to be able to move on your board. We're not going to LSU UL unless it's baseball, right? Or maybe basketball. Yeah, I know Dave's clamoring, so let's get those purple and gold dice out. I definitely want to show that. Yeah, Dave, I think it's a game you might like here. Special faces, right, to trigger. But man, are you noticing something? Hey, chat crew, look at this. There's only one side to this purple die. Everything else is blank. Why is that important? All right, on your turn, you're going to take 9 dice, right? There we go. We got 5. Let's say we had all these dice here. And you're going to roll these dice. Starting hand of 9, right? Roll the dice. And then you take a look and you'll grab anything that's got a marker on it. So this one has a face. I'm going to set this aside. That's going to give me 1 movement in the thing. This one's going to let me trigger the orange card. This one will let me trigger the purple card. The rest of these are blank. I could stop or I could keep going. And if I want to push my luck, I grab the rest of the dice. Once there are 3 dice locked in, though, now I've got trouble. Because if I roll all these dice and they all come up empty, I've busted. And I don't get the credits. And I don't get the movement. I'll get a little special bonus. There's a catch-up mechanic that I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so I'm safe. I was able to get the brown one. I'm feeling lucky, Dave. Let's roll again. Let's see what we got. Dice love me. There we go. I think if I were playing the game against Dave, Bradley, maybe Verla and Steve, I would stop here. I've got my 3 credits to buy something. I've got a foot, and I've got some special dice. All right, so let's get to what those are. But hey, like I said, tons of amazing-looking dice. Dave, I actually don't see any red dice yet. I'm sure there's somewhere in there. But yep, there they are. So let's get to the vermilion die. Got a bunch of vermilion. I want to show them. I know, Fiona. Doesn't this look? This game is ridiculous. If you like dice games, I mean, you're just looking at tons and tons of. I haven't even got all the dice out yet. There's just tons of these dice. This one has 2 sides, Dave. 2 sides, vermilion and white. All right. So, man, we're still looking at dice here. We've got the gold dice, of course. They are, Patricia, I'll tell you, AEG has been knocking out of the park. If you were following their blog, they went, a year and a half ago, they said, hey, it's time for us to start looking at less amount of releases, finding quality designers, making sure we support and develop those designers. And this is what they're going, hey, Merry Christmas to you, Chris Strain. Again, congratulations on a fantastic Asking for Troubles. That was amazing. So can't wait to get those expansions. So if you take a look, the gold dice also have 2 sides. Nothing else but just triggering. Wow. So this will just be triggering. These are your basic blue dice. I said basic. I mean, these are ones you can upgrade. Oh, the blue is all about the money, man. Give me the money. Show me the quan. Look at that. We're getting some 2s here. And then some special powers. Maybe get some money there. Of course, you have the basic grays and the blacks. Blacks are going to give you tons of money and some foot. Not tons. I mean, just 1 and feet. And then the poor little gray dice, all they give you is 1 credit. Just enough to get you to buy some more dice. Very nice. Very sharp. Like what I've seen so far. Okay, so we know that the dice faces, but what do they mean? And that's where, let's see if I can find my knife here. And that is where we're going to look at the cards. They give the game, AEG gives you a ton of these cards. So they're going to give you some standard sets inside the rule book. If you want to play particular ways, you can take them. But there's 8 different colors beyond the basic gray and black dice, or gray and gray dice. And after that, all about cubes. Hey, there's the big winner. Hey, Jen checking in. She won the big prize. Jen, I'm going to try to get that out if I can on Saturday, get to the post office. So she won a bunch of games for playing Monstrosity with us and Jeremy Howard. So thank you for doing that. So, yeah, so many dice, so Jen, huh? All right, so if you notice, all the different colors are represented. Reds, yellows, purples, browns, oranges, blues, and greens. You're going to pick one of each of these, set them out next to those dice, and then that die will have that special power for the round. So, like I said, the designer has some preset already for you where they can put 8 of the different, 1 card from each of the different 8 colors to make it look. We'll just show you how some of those, they all, look at this, Dave, you're going to love this. They all have nice little puns. Rolling Stoned, Pina Cublada. I like that. Keep on Rolling. These are the rockin' dice. Up to 11. Punk Fruit. And Pineapple Rocks. And as you can see, each one of these will have different. All the faces are the same for the greens, but the actual activation abilities are going to be different for each one of the dice. So that's kind of cool. For instance, this one, if you hit that active die, if you pushing your luck, of course, you may first move this die to your roll zone before you roll. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. And they have a bonus active. All right, so that's the green. And of course, we have all the different colors. We've got the green, oranges, the whites with the smelly cat, fast cat, catastrophe. Oh, man. If you like puns, I'm sensing a lot of puns here. Reckless cheese. Hey, this one's for John Newman. Look at that, John. We got the Packer colors, reckless cheese. The cheese stands alone. The big cheese. Yeah, that's right. All right, so remember I told you that there was that little bit of a catch-up mechanic. If you are not doing so well, that's what this little fan area is. So when you're looking at the fan area, you're going to have these markers here, and we'll use the markers to move up the fan area. The first time you bust, you'll start here, but when you bust, if you bust again, you'll actually start to get some nice little bonuses as you go around. Now, from what I could tell, that's not how you're going to win. You don't want to bust every single round just so you can get some of these bonuses. You really want to spend your credits to buy the cards, and of course, the card cost is right there, 7. So let's say you had 9, you could buy a dugout of 7 and one other color if you could find like a 2, for instance. So yeah, you definitely don't want to bust if you can. I know, reckless cheese. I like that, Patricia. That is pretty cool. And then, of course, you got the little player boards. This just goes through what you're going to be doing. You'll have your dice. You'll pick your 9, unless you have those extra hands that allow you to have more dice in your hand. You'll move the ones that you lock into your active area, and then around you'll discard them as you play. Hopefully, you haven't busted, and you're able to use your credits to buy more dice. So I think that's it. Yeah, there's the credit and lots and lots of dice. I didn't show you the white dice. Let me take a look at those real quick. Lots and lots of dice that we have. Essentially, we're talking about a race game, though. And essentially, we're talking about engine building and building up your dice. Sort of like having a bag in Orleans, but with tiles or a dice mechanic. But there's no real bag here. You're just keeping them in your hand and picking the 9 that you want to use. Maybe getting rid of some of the ones that you don't want and use when you go to certain spaces. But you can see each one is a little different. Some of them have a lot more faces than others. This one has 3 different faces. So you got where you're going to trigger the cats. You got a feet here and feet here. And you're really trying to just keep rolling those dice without busting. You always want at least one of the dice to show up with a face on it. Hey, so that's AEG's big new release right now, Cubitos, from designer John D. Clare. Favorite designer here in a Gumbo from the Space thing. We love the Space. We played all of the expansions. We played all the way through the Shy Pluto campaign, which I recommend to anybody. If you like legacy games, but you don't think you have a lot of time, Shy Pluto is like a sort of a mini legacy game. It's only going to take 4, 5, or 6 scenarios. It wasn't like one of these 18 long scenarios. And it really adds a lot of cool stuff to the game. But in Cubitos, we see John D. Clare just continue to expand. What can I do with dice? What can I do with the dice building? What can I do with engine building? And throwing that into a race. First one to get across the thing. It's not actually a real-time game. It's simultaneous play where you're going to be rolling your dice while everybody else is doing it. And then there's that pause where you buy, what you need for the next round. So that's Cubitos from AEG and John D. Clare. Until next time, hey, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Have a safe and warm, happy Christmas. Be safe out there. And until next time, laissez les bon temps rouler.